What's going on, everyone? It is Paul, the 920 trader with 920 Trading and Trading Decoded. A very common question that I'm asked. As a matter of fact, I'm asked this on a regular basis, hence making it a very common question is, what am I thinking about before I put on a trade? Well, here, I can tell you what I'm thinking about before I put on a trade. I'm thinking about what I'm looking for. And then the question kind of begs the question is, what am I looking for? What am I looking for? What certain specific market conditions am I looking for? In other words, what's that A plus setup? Because I mean, let's face it, folks, there are a bunch of different setups. There's an A plus setup. That's the setup that you want to take 100% of the time. And all the way down to the setup that we never want to take, and those are the chases and the low probability and that type of setup. But what exactly is a high probability setup? Well, I kind of define it like this: I am only looking for trades off of major levels. So what's a major level? Well, major level can be something like pre-market high, pre-market low, a supply zone, a demand zone, so major levels, or something that's called the POC. So we know what pre-market high is. We know what pre-market low is. That's the something, wherever our high was in pre-market, that's pre-market high, and the pre-market low. So we're looking for trades out of those areas, but we're also looking for trades out of supply zones. What's a supply zone? Well, simply put, it's a 30-minute double top, folks. That's what it is. So before we do the supply zone, let's talk about that pre-market high. This chart, and folks, these are good every single day. It's not just today, and it's not this, oh, well, it worked out today. It's going to work out. It's not going to work out every day. Folks, 9 times out of 10, you get at least one of these setups every single day that are A-plus setups. Most of the time, you get them 2 or 3 times a day. But again, right here, pre-market high, right there. So we're going to try 607.15. You hear about these in my daily update videos about what I'm looking for as far as pre-market high and pre-market low. So we got pre-market high sitting right up here. Pre-market low is right down here. So I think we had about a little over $1 worth of movement, pre-market high to pre-market low, somewhere right around in here. So anyway, pre-market high, pre-market low. And no, that's not it. It's going to be closer to this. So anyway, so we're right around in here, folks. So a little over $1. So this is what I'm doing. That's the first thing that I do: pre-market high, pre-market low. And then what I'm doing is I'm looking for supply zones. What's a supply zone? Well, it's your closest 30-minute double top that happened in real time, in real trading hours. So right here, folks. So that is the level that I'm looking to take a trade off of. Again, we got pre-market high, pre-market low. We've got this 30-minute double top right in here. So these are the levels. These are the higher time frames. This is a supply zone. It's a supply zone that said, okay, at this level, something happened, and it was so important that there's a 30-minute double top at that level, and it pushed down. Again, you can see this is a 30-minute chart, and this happened yesterday. This is the price action from yesterday. At this level yesterday, it pushed down, and it pushed down, and it pushed down. And then what's the next thing I look for? Well, I'm looking for yesterday's low right in here. Okay, well, it's right there. Okay, so yesterday's low. And I'm opening up here so I know that I already have a gap there. Well, okay, based on that, then where do you look? Where are you're talking about, okay, where do you want to put on a trade? But where do you want to take that trade off the table? Okay, well, let's look at this down here. Let's look at something like a 30-minute double bottom. Okay, we call that a demand zone. So it's a supply zone up top, and it's a demand zone down low. And again, you can see the 30-minute print. You can see exactly what happened today on the 30-minute. But if we go back to a 1 minute, remember, folks, because we only want to take a position off of a major level, whether it's pre-market high. So what we're looking at for pre-market high is we're looking to take puts off of pre-market high, generally speaking. And then we want to take puts out of supply zones. Again, this supply zone right here, yesterday, it pushed down at that level. We are making, and again, the higher the time frame, the stronger the level. All right, so you can use a 30-minute. I tend to use 30 minutes because the market tends to work in 30-minute increments. Don't believe me? Look back at every single 30-minute slice. It works in 30-minute increments. It just does, folks. 30-minute prints. Okay. So again, we're taking puts out of those areas, and we're taking calls out of these demand zones. Again, demand zone over here. If we look, this is on Tuesday. Look at what happened yesterday. And again, this is yesterday's. We got closed yesterday, coming into close yesterday. And then this is after hours. But again, we're just going to use that as a target moving back to the downside. And again, we've got this demand zone right here. Let's look at 1 minute, see what it kind of looks like. Oh my goodness. Look at this, folks. Okay, well, I'd say we got pretty close. This is the opening print this morning. It happened. We had a cross to the upside. But since we're only going to take those plays to the downside or off of major levels, this is not a major. I mean, it was, a demand zone from yesterday. Yeah, we got a demand zone right in here. What are we doing right here, folks? All right, look, okay, we got really, really close to that pre-market high. Didn't get there. My preference on this particular play is to push through this, get a wick, and then a candle that recaptures back to the downside. But look what happened a couple minutes later, folks. We had a double cross to the downside directly through 606.88. Remember, this is a supply zone left over from yesterday right here, folks. Look, again, look at how strong this level is, major level. So what do we want to do? Well, we got a double cross to the downside. That's where we open at or above, right at the 9 and close below the 20. Okay, how much risk do we have in this play? Well, you've got this level right here, again, supply zone at 606.88, and you close below the 20 at 606.64. You've got 24 cents worth of risk. 24, that's quite a lot. I mean, it's a lot, but at the same time, it's not a whole lot. You're below the 20, so it gives you some level right there. Worst case scenario off of this play right here, folks, is you go the other direction. You reject, you go the other direction. You take yourself out of the play. Well, Paul, but it's still directly above the VWAP. Okay, well, then take the play off of VWAP. Well, then where's your stop? Well, you can use that 20 as your stop. But again, A-plus setups, folks. We don't get much more of an A-plus setup than this play right here. Again, double cross to the downside directly out of a supply zone, 30-minute supply zone. Again, I'm going to show you again real quick right here, folks. There it is. Supply zone, push down, push down, push down. Again, the higher the time frame, the stronger the level. It pushed down. Why not put on the trade right there? Why not? What's wrong with that trade right there? Well, it's in an uptrend. Nah, it's not really. Again, we got into that supply zone and it pushed down, folks. Well, it didn't quite get to pre-market high. Doesn't matter. We're still in that supply zone. It's still pushed down. We don't have very much risk, 22, 24 cents worth of risk. Not a whole lot. When you're dealing with multiple SPX, you work up to that anyway. So it's not a big deal, folks. We've predefined the risk. Where's our risk? Right here. What do we do at this point? Sit back. That's what you do, folks. You sit back. Okay, so where are you going to take this trade off the table? Well, you've got different levels that you're looking for, folks. All right, well, you got this level down here. You didn't get there. You could take the trade off. You got a couple of green candles, or you can trust your 20. Remember, folks, we're 920 traders. The earlier you get into the trade, the more wiggle room you have. Okay, so you're going to use your 9 for short plays. You want to use the 9. If it's a longer trade, folks, what you can use that 20. You can use that 20. Now, if we look at this from a 5-minute standpoint, let's see exactly what it looked like. Oh my goodness, it's below the 20. It's below the 9 the whole time on the 5-minute. Look at this. It's slowed down a little bit, but oh my goodness, look at this price action. Well, but if you're only using 1-minute candles, you probably have multiple strokes and heart attacks every single day by looking at 1-minute candles only. Now, there are really, really high-level traders that use the 1-minute candle. They snipe these things. They scalp these things all day long and do very, 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 very well. It's not my style. My style is to say, you know what? I'm going to let this thing kind of play out, kind of see what's going on, and watch that price action and trust. Not only one minute, but the 5-minute. Oh, you don't want to trust the 5-minute? Okay, go to a 3-minute. That's what your 3-minute looked like today, folks. It just pushed down, push down, push down, push down, push down. Okay, where do you take yourself out of the trade? Well, you've got multiple ways to take yourself out of the trade, folks. I'll tell you what, though, this is kind of one of those good ones when you have a nice candle, you're running down, price action isn't really great. and you get a couple of big candles like this, it's never a bad idea to take yourself out of the trade. It could be exhausting down here. It could be a thin volume area. No question about that. Let's take a look, see if it was a thin volume area right in here. Actually, it was kind of a heavy, well, kind of hard to see because this was the print for the most of the afternoon. But when you get that big candle that runs down like this through one of your levels, well, we got another level right down here, so you probably want to hold on to that trade. So everything depends on what you're trying to do in the trade, folks. I mean, where are your levels? What are you shooting for? Well, again, you can, if you want to be as conservative as possible, you can say, okay, if we get a candle that closes above the 9 against my position, I'm going to take the position off the table. And then if we get a recapture of the 9 back to the downside, I can put that position back on the table. Again, A plus. We're talking about A plus. We're talking about entries. Entries are everything, folks. If you nail the entry, then your exits are going to be much, much better. But here's the thing I want to caution you against. A couple of things. Number one, do not watch your P&L while you're in the middle of a trade, unless you're a scalper. If you're a scalper, watch your P&L. Make your money, get in, get out. But always have a reason for getting in and always have a reason for getting out. Now, I can tell you this. Emotions are a bad reason for both getting into a trade and taking yourself out of a trade. Emotions are a horrible reason. Very, very bad. Very, very bad. Your emotions are going to tell you to get out of the trade. Number one, your emotions are going to tell you to chase a trade that's already happened. And they're going to tell you to get out of a trade before you're supposed to get out of the trade. Again, folks, watch price action. Trust price action. Trust your higher time frames. Trust that you've got a supply zone here. Trust that you've got a demand zone down here. Put on the trade. Trust your levels. Trust your 9. And again, folks, you can do this. You can do this at a high level if you believe you can do this at a high level. But again, folks, we're only talking about A plus setups. Those are the only setups that you want to take. Now, the question is, what if you don't get an A plus setup during the day? Who cares? If you don't get your specific setup, if you don't get an A plus setup, you know what you're going to do? Nothing. You're going to sit on your hands. You have to. You must be disciplined enough to not put on that trade. You have to be disciplined, folks. Disciplined to put it on when you're supposed to, without fear or hesitation. And disciplined to stay out of the trade if it doesn't hit your specific requirements. If your edge is not met, you cannot put on the trade. But if your edge is met at that major level, you are compelled to put on the trade. There are no two ways about this, folks. You must do it. If you want to trade at any kind of a high level or full time, you must commit yourself to high level or high major level trading only. You can't really do anything else, folks. If you're just arbitrarily putting on a trade, if you're being random about your trade, you're going to get random results. We're not really interested in random results, folks. We're interested in the probabilities. You've done the back testing. So based on your specific edge, you've done the back testing. Again, don't be arbitrary. Don't take random trades. Major levels only. That's where something happened at it's a major level because it's a higher time frame, folks. Again, 30-minute. The market works in 30-minute increments. Supply zone here. It ran down. Supply zone here this morning. Double cross to the downside. Take the trade. Put on the trade. And whatever the consequences of putting on that trade are, you live the consequences. The P&L doesn't matter. The P&L. If you are able to execute your trades at major levels and put on the trades when you are supposed to and follow your trading plan, this becomes moot. At some point, this becomes moot. Those are the only trades you're going to put on. And those trades are going to be such high probability trades and profitable trades, folks. I'm not saying 100% of the time because no plan is 100%. It's just not going to happen. We hope that you have some losing trades, folks, only because it has to happen. There's no plan out there that's 100%. It's not going to happen. Will not happen. But that's what I look at, folks. Those are the things that I think about before I put on the trade. Is my edge there? Yes or no? Is it a major level? Yes or no? It's binary. It's yes or no. That's an if. Trading is an if-then game. If this happens, then I'm going to do that. And that's it. That's as easy as it is, folks. It's not any more difficult than that. Did this happen? Yes or no? Okay, great. I'm either going to put on the trade or I'm not. Did this happen? Yes or no? I'm either going to take the trade off the table or I'm going to leave it. I'm going to stay in the trade. Really, it's binary, folks. It's yes or no. That's really all there is to say about that, folks. But anyway, if you like our videos, you guys know. Go ahead and give us a like and a subscribe. And don't forget to turn on your notifications. That way you can be notified because we drop new content all the time, and particularly on the weekends when we talk about different subjects, different high-level subjects. Also, if you are interested in live daily trading, folks, guys, we're going to give you the first week for free. Head on over to our live trading Discord. It's called Trading Decoded. We're going to talk about every single one of these setups. Now, here's the good news. When you get into that trade, you know you're going to have that voice. You're going to have that Paul voice in your ear. He's going to be coming to you through those speakers. You know what he's saying? Okay, guys, this is what I'm looking at for this trade. If I'm in the trade, I'm going to be talking to myself through the trade just like I talk everybody else through the trade. I will talk about what I'm seeing, good reasons to stay in the trade, good reasons to stay out or get out of the trade. Those are the things I'm talking about. I'm talking about high volume areas, thin volume areas, areas of concern, areas of where I think it's going to do something. That's what we do every single day. So if you're interested in that, folks, which I know you are, why wouldn't you be? Head on over to our live trading Discord. It's called Trading Decoded. Again, we're live every single day, folks. 9 a.m. until 4 o'clock in the afternoon every single day. So yeah, check that out. First week's for free. Now, if you're interested in the 920 crossover strategy, where we talk about these, we actually show you or give you the process. We give you the process, folks. 920trading.com. Head on over to 920trading.com. The entire strategy is there for the world to see. You don't have to spend a lot of money. You don't have to spend any money on this process, folks. It's right there for you. You don't have to spend thousands of dollars on it. Anyway, hey, I hope everybody has a great weekend. You know, we got holidays coming up, just a couple weeks past Thanksgiving. We got Christmas and New Year's coming up. This next week is the final full week of trading for the rest of the year. So let's trade smart next week. But again, folks, commit to yourself. Major level trading only. Major level trading only. A+ setups only, folks. That's it. Again, binary, yes or no. Did your edge present itself off of major level, yes or no? If the answer is yes, put on the trade. If the answer is no, don't. But anyway, folks, I hope everybody has a great weekend. I know I will. Let's have a great week next week. But until then, folks, we will see you in the markets.